This is the Momma Fit Podcast. This podcast is dedicated to all those mamas out there that want to fit a workout in a day, or want to fit in a moment of bliss, or hey, you want to fit into those skinny jeans. Dana Dieters is the host of Momma Fit Podcast. She's a mother of two beautiful girls, a wife, and entrepreneur. Her passion became her profession when she had a wake-up call about 15 years ago. With the support of others and a positive attitude, she was able to overcome the hurdles in her life. This mama strives to wake up and conquer each day to make it better than the day before. Her passion for business and education to others is what drives this mama to be the best version of Momma Fit. With Dana's background, she hopes to help you with your business, health and fitness needs, family time in the kitchen, and give you motivation and inspiration to tackle your day. And most importantly, to help you fit in your Momma Fit time.
Welcome back to the Momma Fit Podcast. It is another week and it is a beautiful day. Today's topic is about failure. And have you ever tried something but failed? And you might even try again, but fail again. But with that being said, when you fail again and again, you can fail better. So switching that mindset. So no one ever knows what's going to happen next. And that these transition times between something being set and something being uncertain are times that there are going to be huge potential. Anything is possible. If we have one skill, and that one skill, which we probably don't stress very much about, but it is really needed, it's knowing how to fail well. It is like a fine art of failing. And I have to say, I have done so much failing in my life that I could write a book about it. There's so much talk about the emphasis of succeeding. And whether we buy in the hype or not, we all want to succeed, especially if you consider success is it works out the way you want it to. You know how it feels in your gut and your heart because you work something out and it's grand, it's great, and you did it all great. But so is failing. Sometimes just failing at something is going to get you in the perfect position for succeeding at what you actually need. Sets you in the right spot for that actual thing that you wanted, but even better. We do need to accept failure for what it is, too. All right, so I'm going to get a little deep into this topic because I really need you to understand that a lot of the things that we go through in life are hard, but they don't have to be. I think we need to learn how to use our tools in our toolbox that we learn, that failure is just something that makes us stop, think, what did not work and what will work, and then try again with something else. If that first time it didn't work with that same situation, change it. That's what you need to do. It's not about, oh crap, that didn't work, so I'm going to just stop. I'm finished. No, you try something else. That's how it is. And I know for me, I used to maybe not be that way. I used to be more negative. And when I was in high school, for instance, I failed math my senior year in high school. And maybe that sounds, oh, she doesn't know math. Math is really hard. It's just hard to figure out. It was really hard for me, yes. But I did get help with a tutor in the morning. Every morning I had someone that would meet me and we would do the math problems that we were doing in the class the day before so I could understand it. I also met with the teacher once a week as well. And with all of that extra work in my semester before graduation, he still failed me. Now, I could have been pissed and I could have moaned and groaned. I still graduated, which I still don't know how without, getting an actual passing grade. But that led me to my next failure, which was not getting into the school I wanted to get into because of that F, that failing grade. So I had to go to a community college to start with, and then go to the college, which it's St. Cloud State. I had to take a full semester at the community college just to get enough grades, just to get my grades up to actually go to the college I wanted to go to. And then once I got into St. Cloud State, which I did, it took me 8 years to finish college. And through that college time, I failed many classes. I know you're probably listening to this and be like, she failed high school and college. How did she graduate? Well, in the time frame of maybe 5 years of being at St. Cloud State, I ended up being kicked out of college. And I don't take really well when I get kicked out of something. So I had to go collect all of my documents from doctor appointments from my eating disorder. This is all eating disorder related. And I have to say a lot of the time that I was not in class was with dietitian appointments, counselors. Some of the time was actually in the hospital as well. And so I got a lot of W's. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I got a lot of W's and I had to withdraw classes, or I failed them. Not failed, but I got probably a D in it. So I didn't really pass the class. And so my GPA went down and dove down into the sea. It wasn't good at all. So I basically got kicked out. So what I did was I obviously, just like I said, I collected my documents. I had to get basically a big folder of all of my doctor's notes, everything that I collected brought to the dean. And I remember this day very fondly because I was suited up in a meeting by myself with the dean, and I had to basically show my case as to why I had all of these W's and F's. So this was my turning point. This is when I knew I was going to graduate and I was going to pass with good grades. I was persistent and consistent with everything that I was doing, and I was determined to make this happen. So with all those failures that I had brought me to this moment where I knew for a fact I was going to make this happen. I am not spending all this time and money on something and not see something from it. So I walked out of the dean's room and she said, "You're back in." I think I basically walked on clouds walking out, knowing that I could finally get back in, sign up for classes, and get going. Until my last class that I had to take that I almost failed again. Until the guy I had, Ed was my professor, he said, "You know what, Dana, I think you need to go in and just get checked for any learning disabilities." And I'm like, seriously? Okay, anything else? What else could I have? So I did, because I thought, well, what the hell, I might as well try it and find out that I'm dyslexic in numbers and also have one form of ADHD. There are 7 forms of ADHD. So if you ever think that you could have something, there's so many different types that you fall into, different categories. And I'm basically pretty sure, one, with my dyslexia, obviously numbers are not my thing. But in the process of learning that I have this, I just have to go through different steps to get where I need to be. So just from my high school and college, just from those tiny moments of failing at those things, I have learned so much from those situations that I'm glad I never had it easy. I'm glad I had to fail, because then I have to learn different ways, if that makes sense. So when we're thinking about something that happens to us and we fail, we all fail at stuff. It's okay. And we're supposed to fail so we can learn a different way that works better. That's when I say fail better, fail well. So one of the ways to sort of pull ourselves up or help ourselves to hold this is to begin to question what really is happening when there is failure. A failure or a mistake is another word, can be basically portals to creativity or learning something new or having a fresh new look on things. So think about this. Can you allow yourself to feel what you feel when things don't go the way you want them to go? Or when things don't go your way or what you've hoped for? Sometimes we experience failed expectation as heartbreak or disappointment, or sometimes you feel mad. I know I've been there. Failure or other things not working out as you hope for doesn't feel good. I know that. That's for sure. But at the same time, maybe instead of doing the habitual thing of labeling yourself a failure or a loser, or thinking there's something wrong with you, you could actually get curious about what's going on. If you can just remember that you never know where something will lead, getting curious about our outer circumstances and how they are impacting you. Notice that words come out and what your internal decision is. This is the key. So intuition again. If you want to be full, complete human being, if you want to be genuine and not pretend that everything is going one way or another, but you can hold the fullness of life in your heart, then that's the opportunity when you can get curious about what is going on and listen to your storyline. This is all about our journey and where it brings us. So fail better means you begin to have the ability to hold on to that rawness in your heart and see it connect with other human beings and part of your life. Failing better means when these things happen in our life, they become a source of growth, a source of forward, a source of out of place rawness. You can communicate genuinely with other people. Your best qualities come out of that place because of the unguarded and the fact that you're not shielding yourself. Failing better means that failure becomes a rich and fertile ground instead of just another slap in the face. And so I can tell you that this is the same space that comes into our human qualities of braveness, kindness, and the ability to really reach out and care about each other. Empathy. This is where empathy comes in. That's always a good trait. It is where real communication with other people starts to happen because guess what? You've been there. This is where you can help other people because you've already had that life experience, or at least tell them about it and make a laugh about it. Laugh at it that it's over with, really. But again, wide open spaces is where you can go and be beyond the blame and just feel that raw meat quality. I'm not talking about eating a burger right now, but it sounds like it. The question is, are you going to grow or are you just going to stay where you are because of fear? Break the glass ceiling or whatever it is in your own life and go forward with what you want. Even if there is failure, you just have to get back up. It's kind of like a child when they first learn to walk and you see them fall, but they don't think about it like, oh, I think I'm just going to stay here and chill. I'll wait for someone to pick me up. I mean, some kids do, but most of the time they do learn to walk. And that is because they keep getting back up. It sucks to fall down. It does. But if you want to get somewhere, if you want to grow and you want to go, you have to get up. You have to start moving forward. I mean, I will tell you one thing, owning a business, I have failed so many times. So many times. I can't even count on how many times I failed. I have done so many things in my life. I have filmed many workouts that are like hours long. And guess what? My mic wasn't turned on and none of my voice got on the videos. That is like a slap in my face. I mean, those are just some things. Maybe me doing a whole entire website page, putting everything on there, making graphics, doing all the coding part. And guess what? It never saved. I've done that. And that's a slap in my face. But guess what? That page probably wouldn't have looked as great as it does now because I had to rebuild it. The videos probably weren't as great because I actually didn't know the workout. The second time doing it, I actually knew the workout and I did it way better and it looked better. The lighting was better. So even if something just doesn't work, don't give up on it because that's you giving up on yourself. And that is just something you need to get over. It's fine if you fail, but you just got to get back up. So what I suggest is finding the willingness to go forward instead of staying still, which is essentially going backwards, particularly when you have a calling in some other direction. That calling needs to be answered. And it's not necessarily going to work out the way you want it. And that's okay. But it's going to take you forward. And you are leaving the nest. And that can never be a mistake. To fly instead of staying in that nest. All right, guys, this is it for me today. Remember, failure is just an opportunity to leap forward. All right, bye, guys.
Thanks so much for spending your time with the Momma Fit Podcast. Dana is so happy to share her tips and tricks with you. If you loved this podcast, we'd be so happy if you could share this episode with your friends and family. Also, if you have time, please leave us a review of your honest thoughts and reflections of the podcast on iTunes or our app. We'd be so grateful. If you have any topic or suggestion that you want answered, leave those in the comments below and make sure that you fit in your Momma Fit time.